तो लिहाजा इस वीडियो को अपने दिल के फेफड़ों पे मत लेना। ज्यादा तबीयत खराब हो तो किसी अच्छे डॉक्टर के पास जाकर अपना इलाज करवा लेना।
Yeah, I need to understand. Okay, back to the question. Now I got to edit this part out. You feel like when a woman has an empty brain and soul, the only thing she got to offer is her body?
I will reiterate the first answer. No, I think that she's also offering you negativity when she has nothing of positive substance. You know, I'm sure she has a soul, but is it a pure soul? No.
Okay, cool. You feel like a lot of females use social media for validation?
Yeah, a lot of female people do.
Okay. Do you use it for validation?
I feel like I use it for expression.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. What you trying to express your body?
I would say I express art, my political views, my personal growth. You know, a lot of times people do use these as a personal diary to motivate themselves, keep themselves on a goal, and share with people helps. But there's nothing on my body on there besides like me. And I am my body, but I'm not flaunting my body.
Mm. Right. Do you feel like sexual harassment is based on if the female find you attractive or not?
No. I personally feel like sexual harassment is if someone is encroaching on you, period. Like, if you are basing what's harassment and what's not based off your sexual attraction, then, like, you're harassing other people. The moment someone tries to be genuine with you and say, hey, girl, you so pretty, and then you're like, oh, get away from me, you're weird, just because you don't find them attractive, like, you are the one who's the aggressor in the situation. So that's my take.
What's the number one reason women break up with men?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. Well, if you had an idea, though, what would you say? You had to guess.
I feel like that's too general of a question when there's like a multiverse, Marvel Cinematic Universe ways that every little detail can happen for a breakup. You know, I don't know the reason all women break up with a man.
What would be your reason breaking up with a man?
Personally, I haven't had to like break up with a man before. I personally try to let the relationship be as healthy and long lasting as possible. Like, longevity is what I strive for. So
Okay. Right. Okay. So you either do the dumping or you get dumped.
I feel like I don't dump, I don't get dumped. Like, I haven't had a lot of relationships besides my last one that was like 3 years long, and I didn't, nor did he have a choice the relationship ending or not. So it's like
Okay.
my
So
insight on that one.
you said what?
I said I might not have as much insight on that one.
Nah, cool. It's cool. Okay, they say girls claim they want equality, but only date men who are wealthier, taller, and better looking than them. What's your thoughts on that?
Like, you know, I think I understand the question, but when you say like they want a man who's better looking, taller, like, and things more than them, you mean like more than a woman herself, or
Yeah. She personally wants a guy.
who?
Usually, women, for the most part, a lot of women only date men who are wealthier, taller, and better looking than them. But they say they want equality, though. They're fighting for equality.
Okay, I do think that I don't think all women do that. I think more women settle for accepting their man as who they are. But I do hear how some women, yeah, they strive for these high value men, you know, but I cannot see equality as equating to a man. I don't want a man who is better looking than me. You should just be attractive for yourself. Like, I'm not comparing or competing with my partner. It's very unhealthy.
Yeah, I just feel like when you say settling, what does settling mean to you, though? What does that mean? That's a
This case of your question being about women going above and beyond, I feel like more women, more than not, go underneath their expectations to try to compromise for their male partner, where 90% of men are more headstrong and linear thinking. It's not a compromisable thing for most men, nor is there really a standard that women are out here trying to, like, you got your toes done, nigga? No, because you can't be with me if you don't got your toes. Things like that. Like, if a girl's dude has ugly bunion crusty feet, she love him and his crusty feet and all. I never feel as though the majority of women go for someone who's providing or giving something that they can't give. They're not gonna feel worthy. They're gonna feel like a ain't shit type of bitch. But women is like high priorities and tries to go for a certain caliber.
okay,
They
okay,
try
okay.
to
Yeah, okay, we gotta move on. We gotta move on. But I will say this though: with women having these unrealistic expectations, there's gonna be a whole lot of lonely women with this mindset of I'm just settling to get with somebody because I think that too many people are caught up in this list, and they need to rip up their list and just find somebody they're compatible with.
settle.
Uh, do you feel like women have it easier because they're able to sleep and date anyone they want, but the men are the ones who have the power to decide which women will get married?
Um, while I agree and yes, like yes and yes, I'm gonna make this short for you. So
Put the camera on you. You moving
I'm
around too much.
trying to charge my phone so it doesn't die. You know,
Oh,
if you want to
okay.
give me a second. Yikes. I believe that most women. So I'm trying to articulate my answer. I think that men do necessarily decide on the marriage aspect of things because they're the ones proposing 99% of the time. If you're not going to get proposed to, there's no marriage. But I also feel as though on the women's side, yeah, no, it's we definitely choose our partners, not them choose us. That makes sense.
Mm. You believe the saying somebody's out of their league, or they're just egotistical, that person?
Um, I think saying if someone says, "Wow, she's so out of my league," you know, that person is feeling like the girl is above what they are usually um, more likely to date. You know, the caliber of women they're more likely to date. I think it's an appreciation thing and it's not necessarily egotistical. But I feel like if a girl who's out of your league is even talking to you, she's obviously in your league. Like, have some confidence. It's not
You feel like,
it's actually a bit deprecating.
right? You feel like age matter in a relationship? True or false?
True.
Okay, and why so?
Personally, I have dated older, and no matter how much, no matter how much you guys relate on things, similar interests, everything else aligns. The timeline you guys are on two different timelines. Unless it just all figures out perfectly, 9 times out of 10, if you're a younger woman, an older guy is want to starting his family. He's going to want to settle his home, and younger women and younger men like that's not something they're really looking to do. So you might not want a baby right now at 21, but your 31-year-old boyfriend might as he's approaching his 30s, 40s. No, you're still only going to be a city girl. You're not. There's going to be differences that I feel like age really,
But
bring.
why would they have kids with their husband and just have a baby daddy, which is ridiculous?
Are you saying why would you? Why would they or why wouldn't they? I didn't hear
Why
you.
would they have kids with just a random guy instead of their husband and getting married before they carry?
Personally, I'm not sure. I think like if you've been in a committed relationship with the man for 15 years and you guys have not been able to afford a marriage or anything like that, that's okay. Like people aren't always able to have some big
Man,
goals.
anybody can get married. It only costs $50 to go to the courthouse to get married.
You can get really married, but I'm talking about a marriage like ceremony. And that's what most people really put that defining thing on, like husband and wife. You have a ceremony, you walk down the aisle and you kiss your bride in front of a pastor. If you guys go get like a certificate, y'all are already on the hype of what y'all need to do. That's great. This is not like so clear cut for everybody. Not everybody knows these things. Not everybody got $50 to go and get a witness and all these requirements, get your paperwork. So no, like,
Man, they got it. They just don't want to do it.
people have baby daddies that
Yeah.
says I want an abortion, and the guy says no, I want you to keep the baby.
Wait. I believe that people just don't want to get married because they don't want the commitment. But
That's also true. That happens in life.
so a guy been texting a girl and she's taking longer and longer to reply. How should he respond?
I think that he should maybe check in on her, ask, are you doing okay? If she doesn't respond again, let it be known that you are, unsure of the direction of the dynamic. You're worried about them, or, you're curious on why they're not responding. But if they don't, you're going to move on and hope they get on with their life. I think that's a normal response.
What's your thoughts on women nowadays putting money in their BBLs and lip fillers and shit, but not in their kids' college fund?
I think that's a problem. I also feel like it is imperative for parents to put the child's interest first. And I understand how doing something nice for yourself as a mom is something you want to do, but just like the whole mommy makeover situation that happened with DC Young Fly's, lover or mother to his children, these things can really make you die. It's really dangerous. You might not even be in your child's life. So, don't invest in something that could take you away from your kids.
For sure. And what's your thoughts on the internet reacting the way they did when he died, when she died? Like when he was at the funeral,
How
he was
they
just
react?
cracking. Yeah, he was cracking jokes, but I feel like he was just, he wasn't crack. He was crack. He was trying to make the best of it. Like that's how I felt like he was. The internet was trying to tell him how to grieve and mourn.
Yeah.
I just feel like the internet out of bounds for that. How you felt about that shit?
Personally, I didn't see any footage from the funeral, and I did not see any reactions outside of me and my own sister. Like, she's the one who told me about it happening, and showed me the photo of the woman who passed, and I felt terrible about it. But I don't know how other people reacted. If people were like, "Oh, she's evil for this," or if people felt, I felt honestly terrible for her 3 children she left behind.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's gonna be.
Okay, what's the best? Okay, what's the fastest way for a girl to dislike a man?
I would say no proper engagement. I think if she's willing to show interest in you and then everything is only about you, that is very tiring fast. They're going to want to feel like you're listening to the things that they're adding, or you're interested in whatever they're bringing up in the first place. So engagement for sure.
Right. Facts. Appreciate you coming on. You got any questions you want to ask me before I let you go?
I have a question for the interest of males. Do you feel like men could apply any of these questions to themselves so that they can search for, sustain, and produce proper, healthy relationships outside of a woman's aspect, since she needs to do her part? Are there questions that men can apply so they can do theirs?
I mean, I look at it like this right here. I mean, I think the men got it bad because more men. I feel like more men are ready for marriage and relationship than women, and serious relationship than women are. I think a lot of women are approaching a relationship like they're in junior high and in high school, and are appropriate with urgency like they should, and they're not approaching it with the type of do or die type shit. They're not approaching it, earnestly and urgency, like expeditiously like they should. There's no type of care with it. They just feel like they got all the time. They rather be big. They rather settle to be a baby mama. They rather settle, sacrifice the children's happiness and welfare and welfare just so they can be a mom and feel like they're competent. So that's why I feel like the men right now have it real bad. Not to say just because I'm a man, I'm just thinking the landscape is different now. Women change. I had a conversation with somebody before, with my woman about this before. Back in the 50s, women were dating one man at a time. Nowadays, they're having sex with multiple men at a time. It's
Can I ask a follow-up question on that?
yeah, go ahead.
Do you feel like men are as present for one woman as they were back in the 50s? You know, I had the blessing to be raised by my great grandmother who built her family home and is being passed down. I can go to that home to this day. And I see the matriarch in my family and what she stood for. Her and her husband held it down. It wasn't no, oh, who you cheating with, where you been at, none of that. But that's because he's not out here leaving her alone with these babies, making it her a single mother just by the happenstance of him not trying to be an active father. So nowadays, I feel like men do yearn for a lifestyle of bad bitches, fuck them and dismiss them. Like that's the music that is being peddled for you, even. And
I feel what you're saying though, but I look at it like for the most part, I look at it like this right here. The music is, I think music is music, but people are taking the music serious. But I'm saying for the most part, we live in a generation now. More of guy versions. There's more guy versions than female versions right now. You know, more females are sexually active than men.
I would say
More female.
sometimes that's not by choice, though.
What do you mean it's not
Young
by choice?
girls are over sexualized, they are preyed upon, and it's by people who've already been having sex. It's usually in a predatory way. So, yeah, younger boys, even though there's assault and sexual pressure from boys, I will say that a lot of younger crowds right now are categorizing themselves, not working on themselves and their betterment to maybe have a healthy relationship and get,
I mean, I mean,
but they're calling
okay.
themselves incels,
Wait, wait,
involuntary.
wait, wait. Wait. Let me say this. Let me say this right here. I hear what you're saying. Let me say this right here. I hear what you're saying though, but based off numbers, there's just more guy versions than female versions right now. So back 50 over 50. Wait, let me finish. Back to 50, 60 years ago, 85% of the females were virgins. Now, 85% of the guys, females aren't virgins,
Okay, I understand.
and more guy versions than ever right now. So it just
Can
shows
I,
you the females are having way more sex than men.
can I
But
ask,
granted, there's more females than men though.
in the sense, right, in the sense of those statistics, it could be a very blanket state, like more women statistically are having more sex, but what are the factors and why? Is it because there's more women that outnumber men? Is it because more women, and what are the scenarios in which they are having sex? Not every scenario. Like if you have told me the statistics of premarital, consensual, everyday sex between people, like, okay, tell me the specifics of the percentages, but you can't just do a blanket statement and being like, y'all just,
Well,
women
you taking it to you kind of moving the goalpost. You taking it to a whole different route right now. You talking
think
about this, that, and third.
about
But
percentage.
but
Like
but more women, but more
the,
men are assaulted than women, and assault in America has went down in the world. I just want everybody to know that. And
what,
more women and more
what,
men get assaulted,
uh,
and more men get assaulted more than women because more men in prison get sexually assaulted more than women. But nobody talks about that.
say that men's assault doesn't get talked about. Men have the highest suicide rates.
They do.
Males have the highest rate.
Homeless rates.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And I feel like our government actually plays a big part of that. And women need to be able to help their man outside of the stresses that is already being put on them. But it also won't say like, oh, the percentages of men that are being assaulted is more than women. Who's doing the assaulting though?
Yeah.
Women prey on men, it goes swept under the rug. And I
Right.
don't like it.
But yeah, that's a conversation for another day right there. But I appreciate you coming on
Thank
and
you.
show my love and shit. Though. Thanks for coming on. Though.
You too. Thanks for having me.